The live abroad and the leave America crowd make it sound like you just must be an idiot if you stay in America, you know. And the thing is, we've done both, so you're not getting somebody that's slanted towards one side of the issue here.
Gullible Americans leaving USA in droves for the American dream. Will they find it? Hello and welcome to our Retire Early lifestyle. Everywhere you look, vloggers, nomads, travelers, globalists, sensationalists, and the retire abroad media are trying to get you to move abroad for the American dream, since some say it is no longer attainable in the USA. In fact, it appears some stretch this untruth as far as they can to get you to move abroad. The truth is, the American dream has morphed into a flexible definition. It just depends on whom you're talking to. If you're talking to people from developing countries, the American dream is financial. Financial independence for most foreigners is just owning a home free and clear and a small business that pays their lifestyle in their own country. Many come here and earn enough to fulfill that definition and then leave. If you're talking to the millions of Americans that are coming into their retirement, the dream is to live out their golden years in relative ease, with the sun always shining and the living cheap enough for their social security check. It's got nothing to do with actual financial independence. For the younger crowd, not yet ready for retirement, the promise is to be able to live the lifestyle while yet working, although remotely. So as you can see, there is a promise for everyone, just as long as it's not in the USA, according to what appears to have become mainstream thought. Your American lifestyle is the American dream. When everything is good, it's a dream, and when it's doing bad, it's a nightmare. Right now, with hyperinflation, it could be a nightmare for a lot of people. Americans simply living their lives normally is not and never was a dream. It's the real thing. They may be slowly taking that American lifestyle and flushing it right down the toilet, but why are you allowing them to do it to you? That's the question. Instead of running away from the economic havoc happening in America and actually all over the world, the American people should be looking for ways to pick themselves back up out of the mud and improve their own household economy. Why, you may ask? Why not go abroad and get yourself a spot in the American dream? I remind folks that cliches such as the grass is greener on the other side of the fence were born for a reason. Typically, there was some truth in them in the beginning. In times past, nobody or close to nobody on Earth would ever even think of moving clear across continents to a foreign land where they can't even speak the language, where everyone is different, where everything is different and they feel out of place. What kind of a dream is that? Let us remind you, the number one reason expats leave a country after 2 to 5 years is because they can't or won't adapt to the differences. The press like to call it culture shock, but that wording is inappropriate. It's the inability to adapt to an unfamiliar territory because of the culture. There is no shock, however. Okay? You may become surprised at how other cultures do things, but there is no shock. So the media is going gung-ho on this issue for some reason. You got to laugh because it shows how the copy and paste media jump off each other's back rather than do a little homework and find out that the Americans are also coming back home in droves. There are numerous ways to figure out where people are going in the world. The headlines read, "Americans are leaving their own country in droves to a foreign land to live out the American dream." This is probably the worst thing anyone can do because of the mindset of why you are leaving. You're leaving the USA with a sour taste in your mouth and thinking that moving abroad might just sweeten it up a bit, but nothing could be further from reality. This attitude towards the USA is creating in your mind an anticipation of something better when you move abroad. You see, our mind plays tricks on us. So why is this happening? Besides the cost of living in USA spiraling out of control, two reasons which work hand in hand prick your conscience into thinking that you're gonna miss out on the American dream if you don't do this. Number one, the lower cost of advertising. The cost to reach a person with an idea has cratered thanks to the internet and social media. The scope of reaching those people, i.e., you can now reach millions and even hundreds of millions for pennies and reach them all over the globe. That is a colossal change. Number two, the people doing it are rewarded for painting the canvas just one color from those very same platforms, and the door has been opened to anyone with a camera and a YouTube account. Not only that, but your mind and all the hypey videos are giving you this expectation of how your new life abroad will be like. Well, please don't let us tell you that most people regret their decision to move abroad, but you might be in the 15% that won't. Sure, North America has its ups and downs, and right now, it's down. It's way down. But so what? Are you going to let the narrative tell you that you should invest in some foreign country that is totally unfamiliar to you? Are you going to let some vloggers lure you into some country abroad just because they said it is the place to go for the supposed better and cheaper lifestyle for that year? Do you see? We came back to America after living 13 years abroad when it's way down, and what did we do? We put our mind to work. We realize and know that what goes down eventually goes back up. We also know that good always overtakes evil. We see it happening all around us. We used our creativity and abilities to still live within our means and own a home that we're fixing up without a pile of cash. We also diversify, a little bit here, a little there. The biggest takeaway here is we also know and realize and have witnessed abroad that this thing is global, okay? Don't forget that. You can run, but you're not hiding. Talking and or listening to people while on their vacational bliss, is that sustainable? I'd be talking nice too if I was still on vacation in Ecuador. But oh, that is so misleading. That's the one great thing the Retire Abroad media and vlogger gang is good at, is to get all the gullible Americans to go where they say, because they know what is best for you and your family, and it certainly isn't living in North America. After all, look at how they talk about North America. The Americans that are leaving these foreign countries in droves need to come out of the woodwork and share why they are going back home. What made them leave their home in the first place? According to Retire Abroad media and the vlogger gang, at one moment they couldn't wait to move to the best country on earth, and the next moment they can't wait to get back home. A little homesick, are we? Our experience has been that all of the expats that came to Ecuador left and went back home after just a year or two or three. We even made several videos about it. One is called Where Are All the Gringos? America is still one of the richest countries with the most economic opportunities to be had in the world. The only dream you'll be chasing moving to another country is the one in your nightmares from something gone awry on your move abroad adventure. Third world countries don't have work for the expat. Not that would help you financially. Foreigners moving to a developing country to get a job are looked down upon by the locals. It's happening in your own backyard right now, so you can put yourself in the local shoes and it will probably fit. Even digital nomads that bring their own online work to places like Mexico City are resented by the locals because they're raising the local rents in the city. It's all over the internet if you do a little research. Gringos go home, says the Mexicans. But it's worse than that. This resentment from the locals in Mexico goes on and on and on. It's happening all over, not just Mexico City. The point is, they're trying to live their Mexican dream in Mexico, and it is much more difficult for them to live their lifestyles when rents are rising. Plus, Mexico is also going through high inflation. We just left Mexico 5 months ago after living there for 3 years, and everything has gone up. And look at this. High cost of rent in neighborhoods such as Condesa and Roma displaces neighbors for foreigners. Read the sign. These signs are everywhere in Mexico City. It says, new to the city, working remotely, leave. Being a foreigner in this type of angry atmosphere is leading up to you being targeted and possibly physically assaulted. Just saying. Here's a little secret about Latin Americans in general, and that is they are usually not confrontational people. This is not in-your-face confrontation, but the above is in your face, and I would take it seriously. The bottom line, the foreign country pushers that are still promoting these countries, knowing the locals are fed up and have had enough, have absolutely no understanding of the seriousness or of the ramifications of such behavior. There is no empathy for them or you. They simply don't care about what is happening to people because of their shameless over-promotions. Don't say we didn't warn you. So there will always be some gentrification to contend with while you are living out your American dream in another country. And let us tell you, moving abroad is not cheap either. You've got your high-priced airline tickets, Airbnbs every night until you find a normal rental, shipping costs if you're doing the international shipping thing with all of your belongings. And then there are the hefty immigration fees that every single country keeps making more difficult and more costly. I mean, you're looking into the thousands and thousands of dollars just in moving costs. And almost all people that move abroad are not aware that they are moving into a bubble of spiraling prices, induced by the madness of crowds all doing the same thing, crowding into the same areas so that even there was initially something to it before, it is fleeting at best. So we're just being realistic here. Chasing a feeling that everyone is saying they have when they go abroad is very misleading at the very least. As most people should know, feelings are as fleeting as the sun goes down and rises. When 85% of people click their ruby slippers and wish for their life back home, that's very telling. Very telling indeed. And if you're moving abroad because of the political climate, well, let us tell you this. There are a different type of people moving abroad now, post-2020. The Americans that are most likely to move abroad now are those gullible people who always have something bad to say about America and are really more apt to fall for the trap of life being so much better abroad, supposedly. As you know, we took the bait once 13 years ago, but we have always told you the other side of the story even when we were still living abroad. We hope you take it with consideration of the information being reported to you and not an attack on the messengers. If we don't tell you, who will? In this case, gullible Americans are leaving the U.S. in droves for a dream, and we're telling you there's no American dream in a foreign country. You're getting duped. We'll never stop telling you how it really is because that is the stuff that really matters. This is what you're going to get from Frank and Angie on this channel.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on in the live abroad blogosphere that just isn't right. And I'm going to tell you a little bit today because we're like small town. We lived abroad 13 years and we did enjoy it. I'm not, saying we didn't. But people make it sound like, oh no, America's terrible. Oh, you can't live in America. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, this, that, and the other. And I'm just not finding that. And in small town America, people are really, really nice. And I'm buying like 40 pounds of apples today, fresh farm-raised apples, for 3 pounds for $1, which they're $1.50 a pound at the store. I'm gonna have apples coming out of my ear, and I'm getting locally raised, organic, custom corn today. And I've hinted around a little bit about being flexible, and people don't understand, so I'm giving a little more detail, because you know, I talk about how people do the same thing all their lives and therefore they don't have experience, but I've done this way all my life. I don't have to buy things at the store. I can buy them from farmers, and that's the way I prefer to buy them, because they're fresh, they're in season, they're cheaper, they're direct. You avoid all those middlemen that just want to price gouge you. You fight inflation, and everything is just not as gloom and doom as everybody make it sound like. When I say gloom and doom, people, the gloom and doom that live abroad and the Leave America crowd make it sound like you just must be an idiot if you stay in America, you know. And the thing is, we've done both, so you're not getting somebody that's slanted towards one side of the issue here. We've done both, and 13 years is long enough to know, okay? I mean, we knew a lot sooner than that, but 13 years, that's a significant amount of time to be spending living abroad. Most of it in Ecuador, but the rest traveling around Europe and other places. So I'm just not sweating living in America like a lot of people make it sound like. And I just want to encourage people to see that there are options. And you just have to do things differently than what you've always done them before. And it's just not that complicated. It's actually fun. We took a little drive today. We're in a small town. We're sitting here walking around. It's a nice day, nice people. They all say hello, and they're very polite and nice to you. I'm just not seeing a problem, folks. Matter of fact, I'm seeing abundance, and I'm seeing blessings. Blessings to you all.